my name's Reid and I'm the guitar player for Limiter. Today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to get a super extra brutal heavy recording. I've seen a lot of tutorials on the internet of how to get a heavy recording or how to get a brutal recording, but I want to combine those and I want to take you to the next step. Drums are one of the most important parts of metal, and in a world where technology is making everything so much easier, there's really no reason for you to screw around with that annoying dude you put on drums. So if you want a good sound, you have to get Superior Drummer. If you want a super extra brutal heavy sound, then you need to get the Metal Machine library for Superior Drummer. It has metal in the name. I don't really know what else to say about it. So right now I have a MIDI file loaded with cymbal, snare, tom, and hi-hat. Those things really don't matter to us because they can be the same for any song. Take a listen to what we have. So what we're going to focus on is the kick drum. That's all that really matters in metal. The key to this is polyrhythms. And you could spend hours and hours trying to make catchy, good polyrhythms, but I have a simple tactic that works pretty much every time. The best thing to do is to take a blindfold, place it over your eyes so you can't see anything. Okay. And add kick drum. So now that the spirit of brutal has entered your soul and caused you to randomly select kick-ass parts, let's take a listen to what we have. That's angry. Now another very important feature to metal is fast double kick. While you were blindfolded, you might have missed this, so just somewhere along in the song, pick a portion to add very, very quick double bass to. I have a section where I've put moderately fast kick, and let's take a listen. If your drummer starts to complain, tell him to get drum triggers. Now that we have drums, the irregular heartbeat of metal, let's move on to the stomach. The first thing you need is a guitar with 8 strings or more. Now, I'm sure you've seen a lot of arguments on the internet on whether down tuning makes it heavier or not, but I'm here to tell you that anyone that says it doesn't matter is a complete idiot. So here's the science behind it. So on this graph, you see the fabric of audible sound. On the y-axis, you have how low you tune. On the x-axis, it doesn't matter, because sound exists in a dimension where time doesn't exist. So as you see, when you introduce your super heavy jam to the fabric of audible sound, it begins to warp it. To compensate for this, and to keep the integrity of the fabric, you have to tune lower. If you were to not tune down, the fabric of audible sound would break, represented by this frowny face. You would then be left with a crappy sound, and you would just be another hardcore band. You don't want to be another hardcore band, do you? So now that you have your guitar, let's talk about scales. Just like any other music, jazz, classical, scales mean a lot in metal. You have to know your scales, and you have to know all of your inversions. For this song, we're going to be using the Meshuggah scale in the key of Angry. To go up the scale, your first note is open string. Your next note is open string first inversion. Your third note is open string third inversion. The fourth note is second to lowest string open. The next note is second to lowest string first inversion. And the last note of the Meshuggah mode scale is second to lowest string fifth inversion. So when playing this scale, I recommend using this shape, which involves playing every note with one finger. This causes less confusion that arises by using your other digits. The last technical thing I want to talk about is facial articulation. Anytime you play metal, you want to look disgusted with what you're doing. This will then be articulated through your playing, through the guitar, into the amp, and make everything a lot more brutal. So now that we have our scales and our technique, let's track the song. Oh yeah, that's pretty angsty right there. So, when recording guitars, I've heard a lot of people talk about dual tracking. I've even heard some people talk about quadruple tracking. But personally, I recommend recording everything 6 times over. If you want to get the absolute angst out of your guitar, then you have to do this. So, I'm going to do that, and I'll get right back to you. So to make this really, really brutal, you want to literally make the audience's ears bleed. So the best tactic for this is to just take your guitar and find 2 random notes that sound like absolute shit together. So, something like this. And just record it over some random section of your song. I promise you, it will make it so much heavier. You're playing an 8-string guitar. You don't need bass. I've now given you the science and tools to make a mix as heavy as a dwarf star. Now go off and make your own pissed off music. And I leave you with what we created today.